Hi, today I'd like to talk about feeling defeated because I get in that. I feel defeated at different times, depending on what's going on. When it builds up, defeat is very easy to feel. It's very easy to deal with it. What do you do with it? What do you do with that feeling? I mean, you don't want to stay in that space. It's very easy to stay depending on what you have in front of you. If you're alone, if you have people around you that kind of feel the same way. But what do you do with the feeling of defeat? Well, you could change your atmosphere, change where you are. You can try to rise above it by changing that conversation. Yeah, you can feel defeated by circumstances, but then what are you going to do about it? Can you do anything about it? And if not, what can you do? Maybe not about the situation, but to feel better, to be in a better space. I mean, I usually write down an action plan. I try to figure out how can I work through this and get beyond it. Believe me, it's taking a long time to get where I'm at. And even so, there are good days and bad days. There's not one day is fantastic and it stays like that. It goes up and down depending on what's going on. Because we can't control everything. We can't. But if we look at the positives and look at what we can do, the can't do's can all work out too. I mean, how do you go around the defeat? I mean, I was feeling defeated by circumstances. Financially, being on disability, it's very difficult. And looking at what's in front of you and what you have, and then looking at, well, what can I do to provide, to get through? I mean, what are my choices? And a lot of times you have choices. You can get services. I unfortunately don't qualify for services. So I have to figure out a way to make things okay. A way to pursue and to try to figure out exactly what I need to do to survive each month. It's, a combination of different things that cause financial situations to happen. Even paying off things in smaller ways until you have it, those kinds of steps. But like in my case, being having an autoimmune, having to eat certain things to help my body, not hurt my body, that's a difficult road. The affordability, the fact that I have to buy a lot more because of the foods I eat that are fresh, because of the restrictions I have, there's certain things I need to do, and the building up of the body again. And supplements aren't, I found an inexpensive way, but it still adds up. So I need to start looking at what's going out, what am I doing, what can I do, how can I achieve the rest of the goals I have on my bucket list. Because I do have a couple that I need to get done, but that takes money. And it's building up, it's coming back. And that's difficult sometimes, especially when you're alone. So it's a one step at a time process. It's making a roadmap. Well, even if I put this away each month, can it add up? And hopefully, if there aren't any unexpected situations, that plan should work. I'm glad I had emergency money because it went to emergencies, unfortunately. That happens. But I know things will get better. looking beyond and saying, okay, I know things will get better. I'm not stuck in this circumstance. And then trying to put together, well, okay, what's my game plan? What do I need to do to achieve this next goal, or this next goal, or this next goal, one at a time. And survival is possible. It takes a while. And it's good days, it's bad days, it's taking a breath, and sometimes it's doing nothing on that day that you're so overwhelmed that you don't know what to do with yourself. But you keep going. And the next day, it can look a little better, though maybe the circumstance hasn't changed. You have changed. You have made an effort, and that helps surviving. Surviving life, surviving the situation, surviving circumstances around you. And everything will eventually work out. It just takes time, and time isn't fun. But I'm kind of grateful I don't know time so well with this injury. Or these injuries, I should say, because it's just time can go very quick or it can go very slow. So it's just figuring out a game plan and take you one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself, and eventually you can come out on top from where you were. So that's all I want to talk about today. I don't really have a lot because I'm kind of in the midst of my battle anyway. But, eventually it all works out. It's just taking a deep breath and taking a step and calmly trying to get through. And for me, it's a little difficult, but it's doable. It's just stopping and looking and figuring it out. And I've learned I can stop and look and take a breath. Sometimes those emotions come in front, but I don't try to bring them out. Sometimes it happens. It happens to all of us. Nobody's perfect. So taking that deep breath and trying to take a step, and taking a deep breath and stopping and taking a step. That's all we can do. We can't control circumstances all the time, but we can control our response as much as we can anyway. You just have to get to know yourself and know what you can do and how much stress you can take and how much bad circumstances you can take to keep going. And yeah, sometimes you can pile with 2, 3, 4, but you got to sift through each one and go one at a time. You can't overwhelm yourself, because then it's hard to think and hard to multitask. So I can't even multitask in life so well because of the injuries. But if you just try to find a balance, even one at a time, it's something. I mean, things aren't going to just drop off and say, okay, it's resolved on its own, bam, because sometimes things can't resolve on its own. So taking your time, trusting in you, trusting in that it can get better. Power of positive thinking, and it can. So until next time, I will see you.